Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning to your edge in the financial world. Today, I've got a little headline on Solana and its meme coins, and I want to tie that back into why I like Bitcoin so much and how it will create generational wealth for the people over the long term. So let's dive in and get you prepped for success today. It's just going to be me for a tiny bit, and I will see when David gets in here. Let me get over to the screen that's just me. I don't know why it's sharing the wrong screen though. Let me fix that real quick. That's the behind the scenes. We want the charts and the news. There we go. So, on the stock side of things, we've got a mixed bag from yesterday. We've got Apple down 0.36%. We've got Nvidia up 1.53%. We've got Berkshire Hathaway down 0.15%. We've got JP Morgan down a whopping 5.19%. We've got Amazon up 2.37%. We've got Walmart up 1.9. We've got P&G up 0.98. We've got ExxonMobil up 3.64%. We've got Tesla up 4.58%. Eli Lilly's down 0.77%. We've got Microsoft up 2%, and Google is down 0.03%, and Meta's looking neutral. We do have Oracle up almost 11.5%, sitting at 11.44. So some green sectors in the stocks and some down sectors like energy. On the crypto side of things, we have Bitcoin down 2.01%. We've got Ethereum down 3.2. Tether's still staying stable. That's what we like to see from our stable coins. We've got BNB down 1.28%. We've got Solana down 3.59%. Dogecoin's down 2.83%. We've got Toncoin as the big loser in the top 10, sitting down 5.42%. So let's get over to the economic calendar for the day. We do have some heavy data coming for today, and that will be a big indicator on what kind of rate cuts we're going to get, because you know, the job numbers have been a mixed bag that haven't really let us know the most on what kind of rate cuts they're looking at. They said that if we saw a weakening job market, that we'd see some heavier rate cuts, but we got some mixed bags on that. So we'll kind of gauge that from today's data. We do have some mortgage rates coming out for the morning. That will be in 15 minutes. It's not a heavy mover, but it is a nice little indicator on the housing sector. And for later in the day, not much later, 7:30 my time. So core inflation rate month over month, core inflation rate year over year. We got CPI coming out. We've got inflation rate month over month and inflation rate year over year. Most of this is forecasted to be about the same as it was, except for that inflation rate year over year, which is forecasted to be down 0.3%, which would be a nice indicator for the 25 basis point rate cut that I've been thinking that we'll get. You know, there has been uncertainty, but I don't think that all of the uncertainty is warranted. We know how the Fed moves with the current chair that we have, and they don't move quick. We witnessed that on the way up, and we've witnessed that on the way back down. They are not quick movers. So that 2.6 will be a nice indicator for them that they're getting their soft landing. So we will see how that goes for today. We do have tomorrow the European Union's bank deciding their rate cuts. So that will be a big mover for tomorrow. They do have a speech coming out 9 o'clock my time. So shortly after America drops all of its heavy data, we'll get some data for them. We do have crude oil information coming out as well, imports and exports and the crude oil stock change. This is also a decent sized mover, as you know, the world runs on oil. If you want something done, oil's going to play a part in it. So let me get this pulled up. We got the heat map. We have the liquidity sitting right underneath us that I was talking about yesterday. I had a short prepped. I didn't send it off because I decided to look for a long instead. I do think we will get a little bit of a bounce, and that's just what I've had my eye on. So instead of getting these slow moving shorts, I just waited for a decent bounce point where there's all this liquidity to grab. We already got a little chunk here. So that's kind of the looks for the heat map on the day. I will pull up the 3-day just to kind of get another gauge. We do have some more liquidity sitting below us at 54. So just something to keep in mind for the day. I've got the stock Fear and Greed pulled up. It's sitting at 39. So fearful on the stock side of things. We do have the crypto Fear and Greed sitting the same. Down below it 2 points at 37. So we're in fear all around. And this has a lot to do with the uncertainty that the Fed has been giving us. They haven't really come out either way on what kind of rate cuts we're going to see. And that's something that people have been waiting for. Let me get a screen share with David because it looks like he's going to be sliding in here in a second. So let me get my article pulled up for the day, and then hopefully by then we got David in here to give the people their rundown on Bitcoin. So this was from yesterday afternoon. It's why is Solana price down today? Some of us know, and some of us don't. We had another show earlier where we had talked about how the memes are really hurting Solana, how there's been a big flight from the memes and giant outflows that really kept Solana's price down. And I have a giant workup that I did yesterday. Has some stuff on memes, and then it has some stuff on historical action in different sectors that we've seen over history about when we see oversaturation in markets and how that can kind of let us look for what kind of projects we want to look at for the long term. And this is why I said for the title, how will Bitcoin create long-term wealth? So Solana's price has struggled to close above 140 since why my headset shut off, but Solana's price has struggled to close above 140 since September 10th, despite showing consistent buying activity each time it tests the $125 support. Sol remains range bound compared to a month ago. Let's examine the factors keeping Sol's price below 140 and what needs to occur to surpass this level. Facing Solana Fading Solana meme coin frenzy negatively impacts Sol price. Solana Solana's 642% rise over the last 12 months has largely been driven by airdrops, meme coins, and pump fun activity. This hype appears to have faded over the last few months, with some market participants arguing that the momentum that pushed Sol to 210 in March of 2023 has proved to be unsustainable. Notable price corrections have been seen in Solana's base cryptocurrencies over the last 30 days, including WIF, which has dropped 6%, Bonk, which has lost 14%, Lido, which has declined 6%, and Book of Meme, which has decreased 8%. According to the data by DAP Radar, pump fund volume has dropped 70% over the last month and is now totaling 11.47 million. Similarly, the number of transactions has dropped by 30% over the same period to approximately 900,590 at the time of publication. The data from Dune Analytics corroborates this, showing a sharp decrease in the number of transactions deployed on the Solana network. The chart below shows the daily transactions on the Solana blockchain dropped from 220,465 to 1,778 between August 13th and September 10th. Additional data from DeFi Llama reveals that the total value locked TVL on the Solana network has decreased 13% from 5.48 billion on August 28th to 4.77 billion on September 10th, suggesting that users and developers are interacting less with the network. This is going to be a big problem in the future, and as we've seen in other sectors of crypto in the past, we have seen the bubble kind of break, where we saw DeFi be extremely big over 2020 to 2021, and we see now that DeFi is a struggling sector, where you had the NFTs in 2021 to 2022, and that was another sector that has never picked back up. And this is what you'll see with oversaturation. We also had the original ICOs, which this was like back in 2017, where you have like Bitcoin Cash and BSV, which was another project that broke away from Bitcoin. All of these projects that came out at the same time have struggled to make new higher highs, and they continue to make lower highs and lower lows. Yes, can you catch the ride up to make some profits? Totally. But for the long term, which is what I care about as an investor, not a trader, as an investor, I care about long-term wealth. And that's where you see Solana struggling, where you have dilution of value because you have a meme focus that is drawn away from legitimate projects like Pyth, which is a link competition as an oracle, which can communicate between different chains. It has gotten minimal adoption because people have chased dollars. And you see a lot of the time that nobody really wins on it. You've got a few people that win, and you've got a lot of scams. You've got increased volatility and speculation because there's always the next meme. It drops, and the new meme drops, and the new meme drops, and the new meme drops, and it's never ending. It can introduce unnecessary risk and volatility to the broader ecosystem. You've got erosion of credibility and trust because, as you've witnessed, nobody knows what meme coin is a good project. They're just winging it. They're throwing dollars at dollars to see what's gonna pop, and a lot of them never pop. You've got network congestion and high fees, which we have seen on Solana. It crashed their network several times. You've got Caspa, where they tried to launch memes, and what happened? It crashed their whole chain. And this is a problem because it will keep you from being able to do what the network was designed to do. Potential for scams and rug pulls is a massive problem in the industry. You've got people that aren't fully transparent and they don't burn their liquidity tokens. And a lot of people don't look. They're like, "Oh, this is the big meme right now. Buy. It's going to make me thousands or whatever. It's going to make me the next millionaire." And it doesn't happen because you've got people where there's money, there will be bad actors that are coming for that money. And it happens time and time again. You've also got regulatory scrutiny. So whenever you hear people, when you talk about crypto and they're like, "Oh, isn't that scam?" This is what they're hearing about. They're hearing about meme projects that have no utility and bring no value. And you see them be scared because of stuff like this, where every influencer's got to have a meme token, and you got Andrew Tate now hopping in the space trying to make money off people, and you've got Iggy Azalea dropping a token to try to make a phone and stuff like that, where this devalues the whole ecosystem. And it makes people scared of it because they don't know where to go. And where to go is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the flight for for inflation. If you're experiencing inflation, which every country is, because that's how they've set up the current economic system, then you need something that is deflationary, and that's Bitcoin. So we've seen it before. We've got the dot-com bubble of the 90s, where everyone was making a website, and they were trying to pull in revenue, and they were trying to make money, and barely any of them were making money. And everyone was getting in on speculation, which is what you see a lot in crypto right now, which is why I've been very worried about crypto for the long term. It's why I don't invest in anything that is outside of really the top 20. I've got a handful of projects, and about two of them are outside of that top 20. And there's a reason for that. And I'm on flight to quality, because quality is what will be there when all of this breaks. When it breaks, you will see that people will. Oh, there he is. David, let me get you pulled up.
I have been here. Hello. You're muted.
Uh, I'm not. My
Oh,
mic shut off
okay.
because it wasn't being used.
Good morning. No, I've been here for 10 minutes. I've just been
Oh,
listening to you.
yeah, going on my spiel.
Yeah. Down,
Yeah.
down to, down to the memes.
Oh yeah. Well, like I really feel, as someone that's got even like the smallest bit of voice, that I have the obligation to warn people about this. Where it's like, are you trading? Are you investing? If you're trading, sure, catch the ride up. But if you are investing, memes are not long-term wealth. They provide no value. They are worthless. And what happens when you add worthless stuff on top of something that's worth something? It destroys the value of of something that had value. And it's
Hmm.
very worrisome to me, because this is why you see people not wanting to adopt crypto, where they're like, "Oh, isn't that scam token? Isn't that scam thing?" I tried to orange pill my boss recently, and he was like, "Oh, isn't that scam thing that everyone talks about? I heard that it's just gonna break." I'm like, "Ah, well, I can go down to spiel for you, but you seem to have your mind made up."
Well, it sounds like they were questioning, so maybe that's a conversation worth having.
Oh, I did have it with him, but
Uh,
he had walls up on it, which is to be expected when this is what you hear from all around. Where you heard on the news back in last bull run, where there was all of these sh- like shit coins and Board 8 Yacht Club NFTs and Pepe and whatever. And all of these people chased money, and at the end of it, they were exit liquidity.
hmm.
Did you freeze? Ah, David, you froze. Yep, he is frozen. I will continue on that little spiel until he gets back. From uh as I had tied into like the dot com bubble from 19 it was 1995 to 2000, which was why we saw Enron fail, which dragged down the rest of the market. Enron had their own problems, yes, but that was a tipping point where you saw company after company fail because they decided that they were going to oversaturate the market and chase the money. And you saw bad actors. And this causes problems. And this is what we're seeing in crypto now. You saw the same thing in '08 when you had the housing market, where bunch of bad actors, where let's get these people in there that have no money, that can't verify their income. Let's make a bunch of houses, because housing, it just goes up. It just goes up. And you saw it break. And that's why I'm in Bitcoin. My biggest holding is and always will be Bitcoin, because it's what will make me long-term wealth, because I don't have to worry about it over the long term. It is what will it is what has been proven because of how it is created on a mining process to mimic gold and other scarce resources to be something that goes up over time.
Hello.
Hello. Glad to see you back.
I don't understand. I can be on my computer for literal hours after work, but in the morning, it does this stuff. Like I don't understand it. It's
Well,
frustrating.
I'm gonna send you something new to replace your thing that keeps messing up in the morning. It's gonna look
I
pretty and
mean,
sit on your desk.
I already have one that's pretty and sits on my desk. It's
Oh.
$60.
Oh.
Oh,
Dang.
good work. Anyway, like I was saying, in China, did you hear that part?
No, I did not. But
So it's
tell
like
the
in
people.
China, instead of stimulating the consumer, they stimulate their businesses or whatever. But what happened like during the pandemic? It was like, well, let's just say that like this company makes mugs, and then I heard this on Meet Kevin. Let's say this company makes mugs, and then like during the pandemic they got like this big massive order. Everybody's home, they're just chilling, there's whatever. But they got this massive order of 20,000 mugs, and they just couldn't do it. So they went to the government, got some money, and then they built a big factory so I could support making 20,000 mugs. Well, pandemic's over, people get busy, and they go to order again, and now they're down to like 2,000 mugs. Well, now you have this just increase of supply. So they go to the government to get some money to try and, kind of like bail them out. And then when they get the money, they're like, well, maybe we should just expand. And they expand, but then there's, they, they still have the same problem. They're at capacity, or they've got a whole nother building or a whole nother factory, but they still can only sell 2,000 mugs. So it's just like this it's an oversaturation of supply, and it's for like, I don't know where I'm going with this, to be honest with you. If you could pick up on it.
I mean, basically, what you're showing is just a small little version of how everyone decided that they were gonna chase the money. They were gonna make something in a time
Yeah.
where everyone could make something, and all it did was bring everyone down instead of lifting anyone up. And the only people that come out of it, did Yeti go nowhere? No, Yeti makes a solid project. Stanley. Nobody bought Stanley cups before. Like you saw it, but like there wasn't a craze for it. But then after everyone had their crappy mug that was from China that was $3 because they made it for pennies and there was lead in it, that now they want a Stanley cup because it's the good thing that lasts afterwards. It's proven its value. It's been around. And that's what Bitcoin is to crypto.
Man, you took that and just steered that, man. That was beautiful. That was my brain just kind of like shut off. It's early, man.
Try waking
And I
up at
was up a little too late.
try waking up at my time, and then you'll be like, oh, this ain't early.
Bro, you go to sleep early though.
Yeah.
You have the ability. You have the ability to just go and pass out,
Oh yeah, I was asleep at like 7:30 last night. That's
Yeah.
why I never replied to you.
I can't just leave my kids to my wife. Oh God. That's not fair to her.
No, I totally understand it. I just like to tease you about it a little bit.
Plus, I'm being a good community member and hanging out in Billy Goat Tales, or I was listening to it at least. But
Yeah, I just
you know,
listened to it the next day. Cause like I'd be one grumpy SOB if I didn't go to sleep.
I don't get grumpy. I'm just groggy, not grumpy. But anyway, so yeah, yesterday, hold on, let's wrap up this whole meme coin thing. I just want to say, yeah, the whole point of the China thing was kind of just like, you get this oversaturation of the market, but if there's no buyers, uh, there's no liquidity.
Yep.
You get caught holding the bag, bro, a lot with the memes.
Yeah, that's why
But
there's a guy that
so it's perfectly okay. Just go ahead. I mean, you can trade it. You can trade them if you want. Trade it. I wouldn't do any leverage. This is not financial advice, by the way. I wouldn't do any leverage. I would just spot trade them, and I would just try to ride waves, try to catch waves, and only get in for like, I don't know, like what I've done in the past, and I've done this just a few times, but it's every time that I've ever gotten into a meme or traded a meme, it was because it had hype, it was already in a breakout, and they say don't chase price, but if it's like just breaking out, and there's a lot of hype behind it, you tend to depending. I mean, you do a measured move, you do your chart. I still do my charting on them, but most of the time, I'm hopping in. It hits 100%, and I'm getting out because that's all I need. I don't need anything else. A quick double up, and I'm good. The last thing that I traded was meme wise was GME, not the stock, the crypto token, and I made over 100% in less than 24 hours because I was just riding that hype train real quick. But I got out, right? And it still went up another, I don't know, 20% or something. I don't care. I don't care. It dumped right after that. So, but the reason why you got to get out early is because you don't want to get caught holding the bag. And that's what often happens with memes. That's what happens a lot in DeFi, just in general. So it's not that, you can't lose money on all these on what would consider solid projects or projects with utility. Yeah, you can definitely lose money on those too, and those have been down a lot more than some memes, for sure. As a whole, as the meme market as a whole, I think is definitely way more down than your other altcoins. But um, to me, it's not really about. To me, it's just about just understanding that if you're going to get into memes, just understand that the risk. Understand that you don't put any more money in than you can afford to lose. A lot of people say, then you're willing to lose. No, the more money than you can afford to lose. Do not put like it. Understand it's a gamble, basically. It's like a night at the casino. Take the money that you plan on spending. Don't take anything else. Don't go to the ATM if you lose it all. So, um, so trade it if you want. I don't care. But just understand, I don't see any utility personally in them whatsoever. From a standpoint, technological standpoint, and economic. It's just see no utility in them. It's just, hey, they're fun, cool. I guess they're fun. I don't really know because I don't get it, but I don't know if I'm too old or I've been burned in crypto a couple or seen. Well, I haven't really been burned too much by the memes, thankfully, because I came into crypto and was mentored by good people, I guess. But yeah, I don't know.
well, it's definitely not that you're too old, cause I'm a little bit younger than you, and I've never owned a meme, and I've been in since 2011. So,
So you're old school, man.
yeah, yeah. It's all to get more Bitcoin. And memes don't feel like a way for me to get more Bitcoin. It feels like me for a way to have less Bitcoin because they're so volatile. And if you're not right in there watching the chart all the time, it's a giant risk.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Especially after learning that. Have you seen the guy, the anonymous? They did like a little interview with this dude that creates these meme tokens on Solana,
Mm-hmm. Yep, I've seen it.
and he talks about how they'll go on there and they'll do fake transactions,
Yep.
or yeah, and just to show that it's got some activity, and then they'll go and they'll like start their bot army that creates all this fake hype behind this token, and then people will jump into it, and then all it's literally one button:
Yep. And they
dump
put.
whole bag,
Yep.
dump whole bag, and he pushes it, and that's how you get those candles that are just straight down, like, doo, because you just got freaking rugged. So that's why that's why I don't. I don't know. I've never been rugged, so I can say that.
Same. But for the most part, I've just owned Bitcoin my whole life. Speaking of Bitcoin, do you got a Bitcoin overview for the people? Now that we
I can give a
spent
quick overview.
now that we spent most of the time on this meme spiel because we love memes so much here.
Man, I love memes. I love memes. They're funny.
Oh, you gotta share your screen with the peoples.
I thought I did.
When you hop back in, you hadn't
I
shared it
did.
right away.
I shared it.
There we go. I got it.
Anywho, you are what? What's that say? Good morning, Rockinos.
He said
Good
you are
morning.
not a real degen.
That is true. This is very true. I am not. I like my money. I don't like throwing it away. All right, so Bitcoin guys. So yesterday, we were expecting the correction. Not really much really. I mean, I guess you could consider it a correction since we just went sideways. Um BC, real quick, come back. Come back. Hello? I can't hear you. Can you
Yep.
please come back? Okay. Um what time's the economic data today? What's dropping? CPI?
Uh, a bunch of inflation data. We've got that coming out. It looks 8:30, 8:30 Eastern time.
Okay. So 7:30 my time. All right.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So we do have this consolidation range right here. We did poke below it here. Let me turn on my sessions so I can kind of see what happened overnight. All right. All right. So we took out the Asia kill zone, London consolidating. Okay. I would expect we do have some equal lows down here. We are a little bit in the red on our money flow. So I could see us, and we have the New York Open right here. So I could see a little push up, come back down, take out these equal lows, and then shift back to the upside. I think we will see some continuation to the upside today, but it might not be without first a sweep of the lows to the downside. That is what we typically get. We typically get some type of pattern where, let me just bring this up here real quick. We typically get some kind of pattern where we've been consolidating overnight for the past day or so, and then on a data release, we'll get either a sweep of the highs, a sweep of the lows, and then a complete reversal. So that ends up being like a fake out breakout, as I like to call it, and then a push back to the upside. This is the type of move you see it all the time. Just go into your charts, look at news events. this happens all the time. It's absolutely ridiculous. Throw up the New York Open, which is the midnight open. As soon as it hits midnight, what was the price of the open right there? It typically comes down to the New York Open or something of the sort. Or let's say the New York Open was here, and we popped up above the New York Open, been trading above it, but as the news drops, it is perceived as bad, good, doesn't really matter. All that matters is what's in the charts. Show me the charts to tell you the news, as they say. So yeah, you get a draw on liquidity. So price searches for liquidity so that it can then reverse. So it can grab that liquidity so that it can then reverse and go to the other side of the market. So I do see, I don't see an equal high up here, but I do see equal lows down here and this consolidation range. So this is very similar to what I'm talking about. Now, this seems like it has deviated above the top of the range here, below the range here. So that's why I think there's this itty bitty equal lows right here that happened in the beginning of the London session that I could see us come down and sweep just so slightly. And then we get a pump to the upside. I think we get some continuation to the upside today. That's what I'm looking for. But just expect some type of move to the downside first. If that doesn't happen and we are able to just get a clean break of the highs and then a back test, I would like to see a back test of this downwards trending resistance, which is from, this is why I ordered a new mouse, by the way, because my little scrolly thing on mine, it's not working properly. So yeah, we've got the blue line here, which is this downwards trending resistance. Of course, I can't draw for nothing. This downwards trending resistance here. So that's why I would like to see the pop above it, get a pullback, retest this high, maybe even this high right here. But either way, this circle, I know it, never mind the noise. This circle, this area right here is where I would go long once we have broken that high and we've given it a back test. If it just continues higher, then any kind of back test, that's where I want to go long from. So I don't really care how high it goes. I just care to see a back test, a pullback of 3 candles or more on the time frame that I'm looking at. I would say on the 3 candles or more. I'd say at least on the 15-minute. Um, and that's what I want to see. So let's just see this. If that's your bull case, bear case, I mean, we come down. This would be tough. I would say we break this low here at 53.6. We get a back test of this trend line and this resistance support zone that I have drawn out, and then we just continue lower. So, which could happen. So be careful on that front. But we have been breaking our resistances on our way up. We broke this one, and then we broke this one from the highs, and now we have just really one more other than our horizontal resistances. So if we can just break this last diagonal resistance, get above that, and start taking these out, then yeah, my short squeeze week is still in play, and that's what I'm still riding on this. So nothing really too new, just that, hey, I think today's going to be a green day. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Hello.
Hello. I will pull up BNB real quick. I was looking at that yesterday and was waiting for a point to fire off along, and it looks like we're gonna get there. So I had noticed right above here on the 382 that there was some resistance, and I noticed that there was heavy selling pressure here that I was looking at turning into heavy buying pressure. So as you can see, there's a lot of wicks here for some buying pressure. I would look at a little pull back under this line to test some of the selling pressure that we saw back here and right here as well to kind of see where we're going to bounce from. With the curvature that we are seeing, but news that's going to be dropping, I would expect a kind of shift on that. This is a 4-hour chart and things can move very fast. So let me drop that down to a 15-minute chart for the morning. And you can kind of see why I'm looking at that. So you're seeing a little bit of exhaustion on it, and but you do have the momentum that is still coming in on it. So I would expect to see some bouncing on this point until we get our data drops, where if everything is coming out that the way they say it will be, where inflation rate year over year is 2.6 and we see certainty in the market, I would look at a pump. And that's just my thoughts for it. So I do have something set down here where if we get that pullback before the news, I can enter that long and take profits at this, what we've seen as resistance on the 382, which is sitting at $522 or $526 for the resistance line that I have drawn out here. It is a shorter term play, so normally I'm on the swing trades, but I just want to take advantage of some price movement today. So that's kind of what I got my eyes on. I will toss that back over to the dual screen since it is 6:28 and we've got jobs to get to.
Can you show my screen real quick?
Yeah.
Am I up?
Yep. With your 647.
Yeah.
I'd say you're
I am
up.
very proud. I'm very proud of this one. It's my biggest trade ever in my whole career. 647%. I know people that have had that have been trading not as long as me that have had even bigger gains. But this one is this one makes me proud as somebody that works every day. It is hard to catch a move like this. So yeah, very proud of myself on that one. So yeah. And that's just I was just being very patient. For a second there, for a little while there, I had lost. I went on a losing streak actually. I was doing so well, and then I went on like a 10-loss losing streak, 10 losses in a row, and then within 2 trades, I had already made my money back and then some. And that is called risk management.
It happens to the best of us.
I cut my losses early, so that way the 10 in a row didn't hurt that much. And then it only took a couple trades to get it all back and more. So consistency, following your rules, understanding risk management, not risking more than 1% of your account every trade. That's what I do personally. This isn't financial advice, but I mean, it's just lost 10 trades in a row, and now I'm doing better than I was. So that's what risk management is all about, man. That's a less than 20% win rate, but profitable. So
on the recent stuff, I've seen you go on nice tears with winning streaks too. So This is why risk management
Oh
is
yeah.
important.
But that's the thing. Like you have a losing streak, but then like just 2 trades can outbeat that. But what about when you go on a winning streak? Whoa, it's nice. So because each day, each trade, it's a 50-50 trade no matter what. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. Don't say it's going to go sideways. We don't count those days. But it's either going to go up or it's going to go down. There's no other option for the price. It's either up or down. So
Yep.
flip a coin. Go long every day and see what happens. If manage your risk properly, go long every day, see what happens. Dead serious. You will make money. Anyway,
I'd like to give a quick shout out to everyone that showed up. We got username, and we've got Anthony Soprano. We've got Buck in here. Melissa, all set. We've got Eric Wallen, Rokinos, Baba Yaz, Randy Albite. We've got Amy Lives Crypto showing up as well. Thank you to everyone that showed up for today. Make sure to tune in to Piper Academy here at 9:30 Eastern, because you're going to get all the information about those data drops that we talked about. We also got Crypto Nightcap here on this channel coming at 8:30 Eastern Time. So make sure to tune into that. Get some alpha before that the day ends, so that you know how to gauge the next day, and we can lead you the rest of the way. You got
yeah,
anything
thank
for
you
the
guys for
people?
joining us. Yeah, just thanks for joining us. Just I think the whole point of this whole episode was just understanding your risk and not putting more money than you can afford to lose into these markets. That's any market really, but just understanding risk and yeah, because we just want you guys to be safe, and that's all that I'm here for is to and BC. It's all we're here for is to help you guys the best that we can with something that we love, that we understand, that we've been in the markets for some years, and yeah, I mean that's about it, man. I think we have a combined like 15 years experience. Most of that's him, but but yeah, just thank you guys, and yeah, I'm always gonna be looking out for you. That's all I gotta say about that. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you for being here. And yeah, hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit those deals in the description. I don't know what they are. I think we got some aviation coffee. We've got some Blowfin affiliate links, and join the Discord, Piper Academy Discord. And yeah, that's it.
Well, everyone wake up.
It's gonna be a good day.